Hi, John Davenport here from Photographically.com with another Let's Edit video. This week we're going to take a look at the photograph you see on the screen right now, which was actually featured in last week's video, which was kind of behind the scenes of my Bears Den Falls waterfall photo shoot. This was the last photo in that video, and I just kind of went through that video just kind of talking about the general ideas of setup and how I got the shots. Today we're actually going to go through and process this one so that you can see kind of how I was able to get the effect that I got. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to clone out just this little bit of this tree here. Everything else I like, but this little piece is just a little too far in the center of the image, so the first thing I'm going to do is just grab my clone tool here and try and get rid of this. I did do it in the original edit, but it took a little while, so what I might do if this takes a really long time is I might just kind of speed ahead and cut this part out just so that you guys don't have to sit and watch me kind of fight with Lightroom here. We'll see how quickly this goes, though. You know, Lightroom's clone tool, it's gotten a lot better since Lightroom 5, but it's definitely nowhere near as powerful as something like Photoshop, so you still kind of have to fight with it and kind of play around. This might be actually okay for the sake of this video. Let's take a look. Yeah, so for the sake of the video, I think this is pretty good. We got rid of that. Maybe I can get rid of this little bit right here as well. And it's, you know, it's just something that you just want to, you know, play around with. Distracting elements in your scene can really kind of take away from the shot. So this is pretty good for what I want to do here. The next thing I'm going to do is just kind of do an overall adjustment here with the basic tab. I'm going to reduce the highlights, which will help soften up the water a little bit. I'm going to increase my shadows, which will, you know what, I might actually increase my highlights, because I'm noticing here, if I reduce the highlights, we end up getting this kind of hot spot right here. But if I actually increase the highlights, everything becomes kind of white, and you don't really notice that quite as much. I'm also going to increase my shadows, which will bring a little bit of detail into the riverbed here. You can see if I undo this, it's kind of dark and shadowy. As I increase that, not only do we get more detail in the rock walls on the side, but we also get a little bit of detail here in the water, which is nice. You know, I think for this particular shot, I'm going to reduce the whites just a little bit, which will help kind of set the white point down. You can see, especially here, it's a little bright, and we have some bright spots up here. So I'm going to take the whites down just a little bit, and I'm going to, I think I am going to reduce the blacks as well. So it's kind of, you know, a little bit different than what I normally do. Normally I'm reducing the highlights and increasing the white point, and I'm increasing the shadows and reducing the blacks. So I'm kind of doing the same thing that I normally do with the shadows, but I'm going in the opposite direction with the highlights and whites. That's not something that I do very often, but I think for this particular photograph, it works really well to kind of bring out the detail of the waterfall and control the lighting of the scene. One other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the vibrance a little bit here, but I'm going to increase the saturation, which will add a lot of that nice green color back into the photo. And now to get that kind of final look that I had, if you watched that previous video, I'm going to actually, what I did was I added a lot of warmth to it. I think I went up close to about 8K on the temperature slider, which adds a lot of these nice yellows and oranges into the photo. And then if you look at that video, you'll notice that I have a nice little kind of golden area up here. And how I did that was I added a radial filter. And it was just something like, you know, from this point here, just a nice narrow, long, narrow radial filter coming in from this point. and maybe go into maybe about here or so. Whoops, we can delete this one. So I inverted this mask, and I added even a little bit more warmth to it, and I increased the highlights just a little bit here, and that, you know, just has the effect of kind of, you know, that the sun is just kind of peering in through the top of this frame here. It just adds that little bit of effect there. I also came in, because doing that actually brightened this rock up a little too much, so I came in with an adjustment brush, and I just reduced the highlights just a little bit to kind of bring it all together there. So this is just kind of a quick look at how I achieved that result. I did this one, you know, in a few minutes, very quickly here, and here's my before image, and then it kind of just transformed it really quickly for you in just a few minutes. So I hope you learned something today. Thank you for watching, and I will be back again soon. Bye for now.